and this will be available to you all and on our website. If you have any questions, please use the chat function throughout the session, and please welcome Dennis Parker.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to present to this afternoon. I'd like to talk a little bit about Tech True Up, which is a service-disabled vet-owned small business. We are primarily a human resources consulting company focusing on managed workforce, and we have also as a veteran contact center. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. Just for a quick introduction, I'm the president and founder. Glenn is going to share this presentation with us today. And Alok is our operations manager. So it's Glenn and myself that will be presenting today. A little bit about our company. As I mentioned, we're a service-disabled vet-owned small business. We're a service delivery organization, started about 10 years ago. We are focused on the U.S. where we have offices spread across the U.S., but also offices as well in the U.K. and India. Well-defined company with over 100 companies focused on several different industries with some major clients that have been with us for a long time. We've had the opportunity to work with AT&T in their mentoring program. Our certifications go from the VA Vet Biz to Disability In to Novova and DA4S. And being a company that's 10 years old, we are in real good health as far as our financial stability picture is concerned. What we'd like to be able to do is to go in a little bit more and tell you about our capabilities. And we'll ask Glenn to go through some of the exciting things that we're doing.
Well, we have some big news that and I'll tell you how it transpired. Our training and development department executives that we're all veterans and military spouse talented, sourced. And we go into an organization, the Veteran Initiative, a nonprofit, and dedicate our time to helping companies that want to hire veterans. So one of these companies we went into recently, actually it was a year ago, we went into and to offer training to all of their talent acquisition recruiters, the talent acquisition department. It grew. Everyone wanted to partake in this, what we were teaching, which was military talent acquisition, how you can best benefit to fill the gap of your organization. If you're looking to hire talent, what's the best way that you're going to not only be able to hire, but also retain and be successful in your organization. So a lifelong career in human resources and being a veteran, we all jumped on it, and so we provided this training to their talent acquisition department. Their president showed up, was in the training. Took several days. The president showed up. Senior VPs were there. They all participated and enjoyed it so much. They got so much out of it. They said, we have another big program that's a 2-year process, and this is Raymond James Financial. They're $1 trillion in assets corporation. So we looked at their 2-year process of bringing in financial advisors. You have to have your bachelor's degree. They apply into a program and they spend 2 years developing and training and working with to get all their certifications. We took a swing at it. We brought in a 200-year-old military academy university called Norwich University. The reason we're involved with Norwich saw our talent acquisition, our military talent acquisition that we were already teaching and training. Everybody has a degreed and all the way up. We have PhDs and doctor and all veteran and military spouse that teach the course. They wanted us to come in and utilize our program in their system. So we said, absolutely. We showed them that Raymond James, what we were working on, and then here's what's happened. So now when you enroll into, or in other words, you get hired by Raymond James to be a financial advisor, you go through their program that we put together. We took their program, brought in the 200-year-old military academy university, which is higher education, put the two together. We formulated the whole process, got it credentialed to be accredited. And now when you go through it, you get a master's certificate, master's level certificate. You take another 2 courses while you're in it, and it's 2 or 4, a couple courses, and you get an MBA from Norwich University. So it's the very first time that private industry in the US was able to get their accreditation. So what's going to happen this week, should be this week, goes out, you'll see it in Forbes, you'll see it in the Wall Street Journal, you'll see it on the going out, this big news about we're able to take this huge program, and now you can go in and get a career. When you sign up for the career while you're going through the training, you get a university level certificate, and you can then get your MBA. So this was all part of our process and us at Tech True Up and the Veteran Initiative getting this together. So it's big news. We're looking to do something similar, with other organizations. That's how strong our talent and training department is. We do diversity training. We do talent acquisition training. And it's good to have companies get to see a veteran organization come in and bring the talent in and help them with what their goals are. So next, from that, coming up is the Flags for Fallen mission that we're heavily involved in all 50 states. This started many years ago. We go through and place flags on soldiers' graves before Memorial Day, usually the Saturday morning before Memorial Day. And we have, it's mostly the Society for Human Resource Management volunteers that are looking for volunteer hours, but we head it, run it, and participate naturally. And COVID kind of cleaned our clock last year, and we had to do 10-person teams, 6 feet apart. Some of these, are many thousands of graves. Took a lot of our time, but it's a big opportunity if someone wants to step up and say, hey, I'll show up on a Saturday morning to go help you put flags on soldiers' graves. So the families of those veterans, and just people that aren't even family members, it's a community effort that we do every year, and we're heavily involved in that right now. It's at the end of this month. So that's the two things on our plate that's happening right now. While that's going on, we do staffing. We're naturally a veteran-owned organization, and we go out to staff, as Dennis said, those organizations he told you about, the Fortune whatever organizations. We place people for them, and naturally for anyone on this call, if you would like the staffing that you have, we would. That's where our big plus is all employment. The diversity side of that, with the staffing, we're connected with each university and the historically Black colleges and universities through their veteran organizations. As you know, the military is one of the most diverse employers that are out there. Myself, many years ago, went from Illinois into basic training, and I'm living and eating and breathing every day of my life with people from all over, all walks of life, people I would have never met before. You learn to be a team. You're living day in and day out, counting on each other, from basic into AIT, into jump school, jumping out of airplanes, and on to my mission at Fort Bragg, which I just went to my reunion two weekends ago, my airborne reunion at Fort Bragg. So those, each the colleges and universities, through their veteran student organizations, we're connected with them. And what we do, any client that we're working with and company that we're working with, we take your job postings and we put them front and center of every graduate that's coming out of it. They're heavily involved. Every veteran organization at these universities they always have a run, or they have different events we get involved with. And long before the job fairs hit the university, they're already working with us and working with the employers that work with Tech True Up. So the community development, we do the Flags for Fallen mission, and we do also the disadvantaged community and talent development. Part of that is this: if one other thing that we provide, it's all employment, is the hiring incentives. So right now, currently, whoever you're hiring, you're spending a ton of money. Payroll is probably your largest expense. Working with Tech True Up, you hire everyone that you're already hiring. Don't change anything, whether you use our staffing model or not. We've reduced it down to inserting one link into your onboarding process, and then you reap the rewards of hiring incentives. What happened? We had companies that were not participating in it. Some companies get millions of dollars back from hiring exactly who they're hiring. And through our veteran-owned organization, you're able to bring in the funding back into your organization. Some use it for hiring, it for bonuses. They help their HR department. There's all types of things you could use this for. So those hiring incentives we have available. That's another service that we have. But when we did that, and let's say if you hired Dennis or myself, your company would get $9,600 in a hiring incentive, in a hiring credit. There's other incentives out there you could get on top of that as well. So let's use that as an example. Just one person that you hired, you get this back. What happened was, when we went through to ensure that the employer got their incentive, they said, well, you have to prove that this person was a veteran or not a veteran. You can't just send us a DD-214 and we take your word for it. So we connected with the Department of Defense, and we run those certifications for all types of groups, but we're focused on veterans here right now for this presentation. So we run through the Department of Defense, do the verification. We're connected directly. We get that usually the same day, and let you know that you're not only you hired a veteran, but you then potentially qualify for this hiring incentive or credit that you as an employer should be getting. Since we had that connection and we were already running that, we run that certification through. We also do it for people that live in empowerment zones, people that are in employment, all types of disadvantaged groups that you may or may not know, and questions you cannot ask while you're interviewing, but we're able to for these programs and to qualify. So it helps with the diversity and inclusion effort as well. So we're those hiring incentives and our connection and us being able to run those certifications through. We see many organizations benefit from that. We'd love to see you benefit from it as well. And the military grade employment screening, since we're also running those pre-employment before they're hired, we're able to run all the pre-employment screening at a military grade level. My security clearance that I had for many years, and people on our staff that are military and / law enforcement run those incentive or run those the pre-employment screening. So the going to the diversity, the dispute mediation, we've also added that capability. If you have a diversity and inclusion, regulatory compliance training, if we have attorneys that are on staff that teach this, so you look at mediation and arbitration, or before that, look at preventative techniques. We come through, we audit what you have on the books now as far as your diversity and inclusion, look for any gaps that we could recommend to you to help fix it. But if you did have a problem later and a complaint was turned in, your HR department more than capable of handling that, but realize that we're there with attorneys on staff to come in and help out, try and make it a mediation instead of actually going to court over something. On to human resources, everything we do is human resources based, but we have, if you had a section, you were buying a company or you wanted a team to be on a PEO, we have the capability to manage the payroll, the benefits, the admin, and run it straight through our payroll. So some of these companies that Dennis mentioned earlier, that's what they do. They'll bring in a 20-person team to run whatever project, and they'll put it onto our PEO, and we'll be able to run it that way, or we can run it through as a staffing model. Dennis, do you have anything to add on this slide?
Glenn, you're doing a great job. You can go ahead.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the time here, and I don't want to. Could you advance it?
Sure.
So I spoke about the Flags for Fallen mission. That's just basically dedicating even a half an hour of someone's time. We have a lot of the employees that get behind this. Cost the company nothing, not one penny. It's just saying, hey, on a Saturday morning, do you want to come out and dedicate a little bit of time to this? Leave whenever you want. But it'd be great to be part of something good like this. We're also involved with the Urban League, Platinum Minds, Community Disability and Mentoring. So we do everything we can to be involved and make the world a better place. We have, these are some board members in these pictures in Tech True Up. That's Dennis there in the white hat in the top picture on the left, and a board member just below him. But we're heavily involved in our outreach, and part of the hiring incentives that we offer companies, clients, are specifically that. Veterans, and not just veterans, everyone that would qualify for a hiring incentive, it's our job to hunt it down and find out if they qualify, and then it goes back to the employer. So and what happens is that helps the employer. It helps also now the employer hire more and more of a diverse group. So we do both. You can go ahead and go to the next one. Little call to action at the end here. I'm sure Dennis has more to, but if you would like to participate, just because we're in May and May 31st, we'll be out planting flags. Some states are still closed. Some national cemeteries are still closed. And, but it would be a good time to say, hey, you know what? We do have an interest in this, probably too close to May 31st. But next year, keep us in mind, and it would just be us reaching out and saying, hey, if you would like to participate, just like when they March of Dimes or whatever people, but there's no donation or financial anything for the client, for the employer. It's just you offer to your employees if they would like to participate or not. I just got a message, great, from someone saying like love to participate. I appreciate that. So we'll get you information for that. So if anybody has that, you can contact Mimi or Dennis or I, and we'll get you involved. And typically what happens is at each location, we have somebody that we put as the hero. We call them heroes. So once you sign up, now you're a hero or an HR hero. And so once they get involved, whether you're involved and we're doing staffing with you or not, or we're sending veterans, to you, or diverse groups to you to hire, we 100% appreciate it. And it's just, showing up to do that. The best man at my wedding and my best friend, he was a sentinel at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And so anyway, so we have a very, very strong group we work in conjunction with Arlington National Cemetery and the Old Guard and the National Cemetery Group. So if you would like to participate, let us know. Dennis, you go ahead and take this now.
Yeah, it's not too early in order to plan for this for next year. We're well organized, and we'd like to be able to include any corporation in our Flag for the Fallen mission. Let's start planning for next year. We'd be happy to do that. In the meantime, as mentioned earlier, and as Glenn had highlighted, we're a very strong human resources consulting company focused on a lot of our businesses is in the staffing and direct hire area with a focus on diversity. But we certainly love to be able to talk to you about business opportunities as well as our outreach programs. But we thank you very much for your attention today, and we'll give you an update in a few months from now. Thank you.
All right, thank you both very much. That was very informative and you guys did a great job. I will now open the floor for any questions. I'm going to read through the chat just to make sure, but Glenn, it sounded like you were watching that. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to speak up.
Yeah, I have a question. Mike Ray, also the Vice President of the US VBA. Would love to push out the information about the flags for fall, and I can't talk, sorry. Also, I have a question about your staffing side. Do you work with like executive recruiting firms?
We work with managed service providers that are hired by corporations. If I can match the two of them together, or executive recruiting firms, we haven't really engaged in any interactions with executive recruiting, but
We're not really
managed service providers, yes.
So we're sort of an executive recruiting model. What it is, I have a sister company called Staff Garden.
Yes.
We're in the nursing industry, but we're not a staffing company. We don't put them on our payroll. We thought we were going to a long time ago, but we ended up doing direct placements in hospitals. But we do volume. And what I'm interested in is, these incentives and credits. One, have you seen it in the nursing industry? And then two, is there a way to work with you on that? As in, we're staffing hundreds of nurses throughout the country at different hospitals. Do any of them qualify for the incentives and credits?
It's a very high area for the hiring incentives and the credits that are in the medical field, specifically in the nursing environment. We work with several other companies, one Surgery Partners that's in, I think, 28 states. And it seems like every one of the certifications that come through is typically on the nurse and nurse's aide. So there's definitely a high level there that you would see. You should be seeing for 100 people per year, you should be seeing in the high 6 digits for the return that you would be getting back into those hiring credits and the incentives. Outside of the hiring credits, there's also additional incentives, and some last for a month, some are there all the time, some are regional, some are nationwide. But the answer to the question is yes, absolutely. So we would be able to provide you with that, and if it's on your tax ID that you're running them through, then you would benefit from that. If you were staffing for another organization, it was on their tax ID, they would, but you would then be incentivized for that. But you two together as a partner. So we could give you more on that, but there's absolutely. And everybody on the chat, I'm not up on this as much, and I want to reply to everyone that's sending they want to participate, and we'll get back with you. And I think, Mimi, you have a handle on this chat, right? So, but I'm telling everyone, absolutely yes, I will send you the information that you're asking for. I just don't want anybody to think I'm not responding to them. I put an absolutely in there. I don't know if it went to everybody or not, but we'll definitely respond back. But as far as that, yes, sir. There's absolutely for the nurses, and we have to run through the nurses aid registry and all this other stuff and we do it daily. So absolutely, hiring incentives.
Well, great. Hopefully we can touch base afterwards.
Yes.
Great. Thanks.
Sure thing. We can email you or whatever you want.
And anybody that has questions or interested in the flags for the fallen, please email me. I put my email in here, mimi.loam@novoba.org, so that we can keep track of who to give the information to.
It's a great program. Thanks.
Thank you. And if you all send me that information, we'll make sure it goes out into the newsletter as well. So we have plenty of time for next year.
We will. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Alexis, I'm just going to let everybody know MFM next week is our corporate engagement hour. So keep an eye out for the calendar notice. And as of right now, we have McCormick and Caesars as a, they haven't 100% committed yet, but I think that they are going to commit to us. And we may have one other opportunity as well, and that will all be in the, or one other organization participating, and that will be in the newsletter. Beverly, you just give me a confirmation and I'll make sure that we'll add you to the invite.
Thank you. And again, like I say every time, if you're VBE and you're interested in presenting, please send me an email. It's alexis@novoba.org. If you're corporation and you want to present, please email Mimi. And I think that's all that I have for you guys. If there are no other questions, Nancy or Matt, if you guys would like to say something.
Thanks, Alexis. It's Nancy Connor, everyone. Good afternoon. Hope you all had a great weekend. I was just going to remind everyone, if you haven't already done so, to please, whether you're a corporate ally or a VBE, please take the time to go into our application portal and update your profile. We remind you of this every Monday, and some folks still haven't had a chance to do so. So I'm reminding you again, please make sure that you specifically veteran businesses, take the time to really update your profile, remembering that the details that we had originally from you on your application, which may have been 2 or 3 years old, has to be updated in our new system. So it's your opportunity to refresh all the details that our corporate allies see about your company when they do a search. It's very important. We get feedback all the time from our corporate allies. Why don't I see information about this company when I click on them? Well, it's because they haven't made that update to their profile. So very, very important. My email address is in the chat. If you don't have the link or the instructions for updating your profile, please reach out to me. I'll make sure you see it again. And just do yourself a favor and make sure your profile is very, very complete. Nothing more frustrating than being on the corporate side, hoping to find a veteran in our database, only to come up kind of with a blank search because the details, specifically keywords, have not been populated in your profile. So thank you so much for everyone who's done it. And thank you to others for your attention to taking care of this action item as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. And I just put your email back in the chat. So if you need Nancy's email, it's there. Also, I'd like to thank Beverly Johnson. Beverly will be participating with us next week. She is from the East Bay Municipal Utility District, so she will be presenting opportunities as well as our other 2 corporate allies next week. So look forward to seeing you all. Matt, any words?
The only thing is the Veteran Business Enterprise of the Year survey and the Best Corporation survey are open. So we have some time to take those. But if you want to nominate your veteran business for that award, or if you want to nominate your corporation and your supplier diversity program for our corporate recognition, both surveys are available. We can put the link to both of those surveys in the chat. But please go ahead and take advantage of both of those programs. The only requirement is you be certified Veteran Business Enterprise if you want to be eligible. But other than that, you just fill out the survey and share your story. And there's no other cost or obligation other than that. So please take advantage of that. It's a great way for us to highlight our veteran businesses and put you on a pedestal in front of our corporations, and for the corporations that are doing the right thing by working so hard to be inclusive of vets. This is a great way for you to gain recognition for those efforts. So please take advantage of both of those programs. And thank you, Nancy, for bringing up the point about the database. We want to make sure that our vets are using it to find other vets to buy things from, using it to make sure they're putting their best foot forward for our corporations so they can grow opportunities for their business, and for our corporations to use that tool to find veterans to buy from. So we worked really hard to get that tool up and running and make it available for people. So we really want that resource to be utilized. So thank you for bringing that up. That's all I had.
Hey, Matt, what's the deadline on the nominations?
I'll have to get back to you. I'm not sure exactly what we'd set for that, but I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
One last thing I want to share too. We have 2 events coming up towards the middle of summer, and we would like for y'all to just keep an eye on the events page. One, we are doing a 2-hour session talking about how to do business with corporate America. So that should be a very good, interesting 2 hours. And then we also are doing a session with Range Me. So if any of you are in the retail, if you have retail products, all that information will be on the Novoba events tab. So please make sure you keep checking to see the different things that we'll be hosting, co-hosting, participating in and with. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you all. Have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.